Right, good afternoon guys. Here we are at a property in Congleton for a housing association. Bees in a chimney. They've been coming down in the chimney into the living room and they've got to go. The other reason they've got to go is because the housing association scaffolders won't come up here and put a scaffold up to point this chimney up. As you can see, it's shot at. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a brick out and get into that chimney. So I think I'm going to take, well, whichever one's got the least cement around it, so that one I think, and we'll see how far up it's hanging. The bees are going in underneath there. There's a gap there because it's cold today. It's not an ideal temperature really. Really should be 15 degrees, but look at that chimney there next door. That's even worse. So I'm going to start knocking a brick out of the can't hold the camera. I've got nothing but the camera on. So I'll land it there and I'll come back shortly. I've got this brick out. Right guys, welcome back. So I've got a brick out and I've been told a bit of a porky that there was no flue liner in it, and there's a flue liner in it. That's made the job a little bit more difficult. So all this stack here is going to be coming to at least this level because these bricks are wobbly. Oh, they're not going to support anything. So I've just spoken to the contracts manager and he said, oh, just stack it up on top of the scaffolding boards and they'll deal with it. So that's where I'm at the minute. You can see these bricks are not taking much that's the bottom of the hive there. So let's go and get me vacuum and we'll start dismantling it. We need to find out first if this aerial's live or not. Fastened to this scaffolding temporary. Right, so I shall come back in a bit. Right guys, welcome back. So I've now got all the equipment I'm going to need up here. I've got a tub there to put any waste comb in it. I've got a nucleus hive that's got comb in it already that these bees are going to like because it's got nectar and honey in it. We've got 4 frames of that. I've got 2 frames with nothing in, just in case. I've got some comb in there that's got baby bees in it, brood. And I've also got a super box to put on top of this. It's also got some nectar in. So anything that's got nectar or honey in there is going to go into that blue box. Otherwise it gets very, very messy. I've got my bee vacuum set up. Hook it to Henry. The bees will go up this pipe here into the top of there, and there's a mesh on the pipe here that connects up to Henry that stops the bees getting sucked up that pipe. So, let's see if we can set this camera out. I've got some bricks here, so I've got to take some more of these bricks down. And near enough, all the top of that chimney has got to come off, including the aerial. So, fasten that up there. Just have a look at the screen, see if you can see it. There, that's fine. So, away we go. Comb that's fine, it's very, very brittle, so there's not a great deal in it. just take them bees off, put that comb into the box. This is all waste. Well, it's not waste, it'll come in handy to feed them to other bees. But it's very brittle comb. They usually are when they've been in chimneys like this. I think it's the acid in the soot that causes it. I'd say to that brick, and then be capped off by the other contractors that are coming in after me. So I'll carry on taking a little bit more of this comb out. Well, that'll be going straight into a box, I think. Rotated itself. I don't want to be seeing me. What I'll do now is I'll vacuum some of these bees off, I think. Remove a bit more of this comb. It'll start down the bottom. What I'm going to do is put something there to stop it dropping. Obviously when I put it there, it's going to release it. So, just brush them bees off, they'll go back into the chimney. Well, there is some brood comb down the bottom there, so just get me high tool. That there, what I'm pointing to there, that's brood, so that's baby bees in there. So really, we want some of that. To put into this hive on them bare frames. I want to take some more of this comb out this side first, up here. Vacuum some more bees off. There is quite a lot of bees in it. It's quite healthy. Always looking at the queen, but because there's that much daylight in here now, the queen always goes for the dark, so the queen's going to be right at the back somewhere. Queen always goes to the dark to hide away where she feels safe. If you're all thinking how he's doing that and not getting stung, well, I've been stung twice so far, once on the neck, once on the leg. So it's a perk of the job. in this box just to keep it warm for the time being. So I can't even put the pipe out. Let me get my bee back going again. Suck some more of these bees up. Another day up his trouser away. you where they're at. So there's 3 more pieces. There's 2 thin pieces next to this pipe, and then the other pieces, that one and that one, will go full width of the chimney. So probably about 8 inches. what I don't want to be doing is dropping any of the comb down the chimney, because the bees will chase it down. But at the minute that's quite loose, the pipe. So the pipe's quite loose now away from the comb, as you can see. So what I could probably do is cut this pipe off down here and then lift this top piece out. So we could try that. What I'm going to have to do is nip down and put my proper bee top on, because this veil's letting the bees in underneath and it's stinging a bit now, so I'll come back shortly. Right then guys, we'll come back, so better protection now. Still a lot of bees in there. Pipe off here now, it's getting in the way. It's all loose, that is. Just dropping this into my truck. So that's all loose. Do with this now is just knock these bees into this blue tub. And that now can go downstairs below off the scaffold. Still quite a lot of comb in there, yeah. That's 2 layers thick. You can see there, look, there's one layer. There's another one behind that. Just having a look for the queen, but the queen, like I say, the queen will be in the dark, so she'll be behind if she's still on here, and not in the vacuum. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to vacuum some of these bees off and then start cutting the comb, and we'll put some into some frames and get some into this box. Guys, the queen is on here, just there, right next to my finger, so I'm going to put her into a clip. So we're going to put that in there with that comb for the time being. Now I'm going to take all this out. Falling apart on this. getting in here, I don't know. Oh, because his duck's wide open. So it's just a case of clearing these bits off here and then taking that chimney stack down to that level, and then I'll be happy. Then the comb that I've got in this box here with the queen will all be going into this box. Then the box sat on top of there, so it goes dusk tonight, and all the bees should be in there then with the queen. So that's what I'm going to start doing now, is taking these bits off here. And then I'm going to go down and have a brew for 10 minutes. So I'll come back later to show you where we're up to. Right, so that's where I'm at the minute. All the comb out of the chimney's in that blue box. The bees that vacuumed up are in that tank there. There's still quite a few bees about congregating. I'm going to go down now and get a smoke as well. So any bees that are flying about should smell now where the queen is in there, so all the bees should go in there to the queen for the time being. And I go down and get a brew. So it's not a good sign, guys, so what we're going to do, it's starting to rain now, which ain't good. I don't want to be starting cutting this comb out of here and getting it wet through. So I've decided against that small hive and I'm going to put in a full size hive. So I've got them up here now as well. Doesn't look like it's going to blow over, it's black over there. So what I'm going to do is leave it in this box for now. Them bees that are in there are going to go into this hive. They're going to get fastened up. So the hive and that box is going to go in the back of the van, and it's going to be off to the apiary here go to Middlewich. Now I've got a room at the apiary where I can cut it out, but we'll see what happens when I get there. But I need to get out of this rain, get these bees in the back of the van. Right, that's it guys, job done. It's been a nightmare down here for these coaches. So in 1 minute. Right, that's it guys, job done. It's been a nightmare down here for these coaches. So in 1 minute. Right, good evening guys. So here we are at at Middlewich, and this is my honey extraction facility, and I'm quite fortunate that I've got an area what I can sort these bees out in. So I'm just getting set up now. So the bees that were in the chimney are in this box, and they're going to go into that hive. Because we got rained off earlier on, so it's very rare that you'll see anything like this indoors. So the bees have been fastened in this box. Now the queen's in this box in a clip. And all the comb out of the chimney is in that box. So what I'm going to do now is get it all out and into a hive. So the all the smoke does is just pacifies them a little bit. So I'll go and get my gloves and my veil on. So if any bees do escape, they're going to go to the window, and I can vacuum them up then. God knows how many stings I've had today around my neck. It's sore. So the bees are quite calm because they know that the queen's in there. I've got the queen in a queen clip. I've got the camera on the tripod at the minute, so hopefully you should be able to see what's going on. If I put that there, that will do. So I did put some comb in this box, but there's nothing really on that. Put my knife somewhere. Put my knife. Keep the smoke going a bit. Go to my van and get my knife. Well, normally we would have done this on site, but because of the weather, all I could do was just put the comb into this box. So that's a piece of comb that's just got honey on it. That's the way up that it came out of the chimney. So I'm just going to put that into there. So when we're doing cutouts like this, we do get casualties. No cutout is casualty free. Well, as long as we've got the queen and the majority of the bees, we have a viable colony. So the queen is actually in this queen clip. But we'll show you her a bit later on. I'm just going to put her in here on the bottom somewhere, down there, so that the bees will go to her. Scoop some of the bees up, just drop them in next to it. And that's a piece of comb that's got nothing on it. We don't need that. That's a nice piece that's got brood on it. We'll use that piece in the frame. And this is another piece that's got brood on it. We'll use that in a frame. another one with brood on it that can be used in a frame. That way up, so what I'm ensuring is that it goes into the frame the same way that it came out of the actual chimney. These elastic bands, they're only a temporary fix till the bees weld in the comb with beeswax. think this is the last frame that's got brood on it that we're going to use, so we're nearly there. Tricky. It is, it goes on. So I think that's all the comb that's got brood on that's salvageable. Comb now just wants shaking the bees off it. Getting bees in my vein. There's some brood on that one as well. This is just funny. Need a lid for that bucket. what I want now is them bees to go down. So we have got some bees that's gone to the window, go into the light, we'll vacuum them up shortly. So what I need now is another 2 decent frames. I could use some of that, but it's a shame to waste that, so I might as well use it. Just broke that off there now. What's that in there? That's the way that came out. What I want now is a couple of frames out of this box. To fill up the 2 spaces that are left in that hand. We've got 2 frames there that's full of nectar. I'll go like that. So, the queen is in this clip, but there's loads of other bees in there as well. What I'm going to do is I'll fetch this up here, I'll lower it down. There we go. What I want to do is now release this queen so that you can see her. Take my gloves off. There she is there. Look. She's now gone down into that hive. So now the queen's in the hive, so what I'm going to do now is vacuum up these bees that have escaped and gone round the honey room. Then we're going to empty the vacuum into the hive. The bees will go to the window. Well, that's the majority of the bees in the vacuum anyway, so what I want to do now is empty the cover that queen clip up because it's got the queen scent on. We don't want the bees going to the queen clip. So what I'm going to do now is empty the bees out of the vacuum into the hive. just use that box as like a funnel. So there are going to be some bees that escape, but there shouldn't be too many. Just get ready with my lid. So what we want now is them bees to go down. What I want to try and do is get the bees to go down so we can take this top empty box off. We'll just put them in the dark for a minute, see if that'll force them down. We've got a few bees that are flying around the light, but I don't think we've done too bad, to be honest. Oh, there's a pile up there, look. Look at them there. I'm going to have to set my vacuum back up and vacuum them up. There's some up there as well, and that just clinging to a nail. So I'll set my vacuum back up and we'll get them vacuumed up. And I can tip them in as well, so I'll come back shortly when I've done that. Right guys, so I've vacuumed them bees up there and those ones there. And I've knocked the bees down from that top empty box. They've gone down now into between the frames in there. The bee vac's empty. There's a few bees knocking about, but not many. So it's now time to strap this up and go and take it and put it onto the bee stand outside on the apiary. So I'll go and do that now and that's it. Job done. And so that's the hive in its place now on the hive stand. And just go around the front and we'll open it up. Some bees there trying to get in. Look. A little tiny gap. So that's it. Job's a good one. Thank you for watching.